So welcome once again to Wren's Wasteland Camp Reviews / Dumpster Fires of the Commonwealth. We are here on the map at Raven Falls Camp. This camp is located right near where Meat Week occurs. It occurs right over my shoulder up here on this hill, just by 76. This camp here is built in an area which has a cave in it, and it is actually built on top of the cave, which is down here. See, this says market right here, and as you can tell, there's nothing here. Everything's blown out, kind of trashed out. So, unless you don't know, there's a cave right down here, and everything is right in here. So here's their throne, all of their blood bags and all that stuff. And up there is where their camp that you saw up top is. Now, this camp also has an underground feature, which I've got to figure out how to unlock, but I do not really care to, so I'm going to judge it based on what I can see immediately, which is that Ravenfall has built a camp that they are trying to make look cool and kind of horror themed. But, oh, there it is. See that? That's their underground feature right there. Now, under here, you've got a lovely little stacked camp design. They have planted their plants all underground, so they don't have to deal with critters getting into their stuff. They still have to deal with mole rats coming down every once in a while, I'm guessing. The cool part about building camps underground like this is that it gives you a really unique view. I love the fact that they have hidden a cannon down here. It just makes things all the better. Because you look at it and you think to yourself, well, how in the hell is that going to fire up through that? And then you realize this is Fallout, and it can do pretty much anything. So, you come up here, you've got a, their workroom / personal improvement zone. All their power, all their little things to improve their characters' stats temporarily in game. They've got their ammo generator, some more workbenches up here, conference table, and their bed. I mean, it's not a bad design overall. You're underground. As always, we will take a quick peek and see if they've got anything. My only problem with it is if you're going to build a camp like this, at least make it look cool on the upper section. This one is kind of to be honest. The market's kind of blown out. It looks like, they just didn't give a shit, which is fine. I mean, they might not have, to be honest. Okay, there we go. But, from my point of view, it's still going to rate... I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. That's a median rate because it's worth a median thing. I mean, if you're going to make something like this market room up here, at least put a market in it so people can come get that and get out, because that's what you're actually using markets for. And these are the biggest problem you've got up here. A few Scorched will come up, maybe a couple Super Mutants. Nothing too bad. On occasion, a Ghoul. I've built houses here myself in the past. It's a good location. Highly recommend it. You get a free target that you can incorporate into your design, and a free chair. So, there is that. And this is Raven Falls Camp. We're going to Mr. Cadillac Blood's camp. Okay, so this is a camp that was in progress when I found it. I didn't actually do a review on it because it was in progress and the person building it hadn't really figured out what they were doing with it yet. They had started by putting a wall around it to try and figure out how to wall it off. And then they pretty much stopped building the camp. So we are on a creek here. Okay. This is by the... This is one of the classic no-no camps. See, this right here is Gorge Junkyard, which is great, as long as you're not dumb enough to take it yourself and have your camp right here, like Mr. Cadillac Blood's camp. Because what happens is if you take a junkyard or what are they called again? Workshop. You take a workshop camp and put your camp right across from it, this close, then if somebody decides to attack your workshop and take it over, they can go directly to your camp and blow it to pieces. Which some of you may like and others may not. They have a vault out, they have built up a few turrets and a few defensive structures. They at least were smart enough to throw down their own water purifier. They don't apparently have high-end power, or they didn't bother to use it here at least. And they really don't have anything in their vendor that I can see, or the world is glitching out, which is entirely possible. Because I'm getting that kind of blue storm look when there's a sun in the sky and it's kind of doing a weird thing. Usually I'd have to have a filter on to get this kind of look in game. But they built it up out of various building kits. It's, you know, not a bad little build overall, to be honest. It's a good basic build for a starter camp. They have one ally, which is the idiot with the radio. And there he is, as you can tell, he's walking around. Their workroom is down here. It's nothing spectacular or special. They have a few things on display, which, I mean, yeah, they're there. It's like a new player's camp that just recently started getting atoms, as you can tell by the refrigerator. Yeah, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I can't rate it very high because it's not really a great camp. It's in a decent enough location. It looks fairly like a rundown shack. The roof is questionable as far as the way it's designed, but I realize they might not know how to do it another way. It is an area that gets attacked frequently by robots, dogs, super mutants, patrol this region, scorched, mole rats, bugs, you name it. They all show up here. They're all low level, but they all travel this road, and there's 2 roads crossing, so you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates. Anyway, and yes, that was a Forrest Gump reference. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 4 because it's not really that good a camp, but it's not really that bad a camp either. It's obviously a low-level camp. It's somebody that has Fallout first, but hasn't had it for very long. Probably somebody that has played not long at all, by the way it looks. Okay. So I gave them a 4. Let's go check out the last one. Is Friendless Liz's camp, because Liz has no friends, and she wants to tell the whole world about how little friends she has, so much so that she has to put it in her name. Okay, so this is Toxic Valley. We are right up by the butterfly. Down there is when you're doing the Raider quest line and you have to go for the Wastelander section where you go to kill the Raider in the truck bed if you actually do that part. And yes, I killed him. It's what I do. Okay, so the camp is up here. It is essentially a box, as you can see and I can see. They have high-end power. They have vegetables out for a garden. Do they have anything in their vendor? They have antibiotics. That's a good sign. A few plans, none of them really substantial on my end. They have too much power, by the way. See this? and then see this. Now, this can be caused by one of two things. Either they don't have the conduits, which you buy those from Graham, by the way. Whenever he's running around as a vendor, you can buy conduits from him that will let you pass wires outside of walls, or they never figured out that all you have to do is convert the wall section into a door, place your connector outside, run the wire directly to what you're connecting it to, and then put it back to a wall. Then you've ran your wire through the wall. And you don't have to do this kind of crap where you've got wires running all through the interior of your house to light a few lights that don't actually need to be there. They have the Wanderer. It's nice to have a hippie in your camp. And yes, she is a hippie by definition because she's just all cool and stuff. They have a kitchen that's not quite there. They have a dining area and some stuff that's just not quite there. They have collections and a couple beds. They have a bed. They have a bed, a single bed that looks like somebody wets the bed. Well, now we know why Liz is friendless. They don't have wallpaper up uniformly around in the interior walls. If you're going to use a real wall like this one here, then don't put wallpaper up on it on one side and leave a crappy wall on the other side, because if you put wallpaper up, especially tile, and you know anything about construction, this is just stupid. But anyway, use a real exterior grade wall that actually looks like something like shiplap, or, you know, use a little bit of interior design sense. I mean, they put stone all the way around the inside of the bottom. They did do a multi-level tier type design, but they didn't really do it well. I mean, they tried. I have a video on that if you want to actually learn how to do it. I highly recommend it. It is on my channel under tutorials, and it will explain how to do multi-leveled tiered designs like that without having any kind of gaps, so you can get them as close as you want, and you can adapt the design to however you need it to be to make it look good for your camp. So on a scale of 1 to 10 is how I judge everything. This one is pretty boxy and pretty crappy, to be honest, and I don't like the fact that they have like the turtle shell roof tile top pieces. It just reminds me of the turtle shell backpack from the latest thing in game. And I don't like the fact that if you're going to build a camp with a view, use the view. You know what I mean? I mean, that view right there, those dead scorched beast and things floating down there, it's rare. It's a static spawn. You can see it all the time. It just... I'm not saying that that's the best part of this view, but I'm saying the fact that you have no windows to actually view any of it is probably part of the problem. I would also recommend, if you're going to place turrets, place them at a height of at least a half wall high. That way they have a little bit of vantage when they're signaling, because placing them below ground level like this right here, or this one down here for instance, they're pretty much useless at that point. So, and with that much power, you might as well actually use real turrets and use the science-based high-end turrets on the home defense card that you can get access to from, you know, higher levels of it, like shotgun turrets, laser turrets, missile turrets, that kind of stuff. She's got way too much power here for what she's got. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a 4. Yeah. Can't really say it's better than a 4. Wish it was. It does not have a design aesthetic to actually merit anything higher than that, nor does it have a level of skill that would indicate that the person is trying any of that. The best thing I can do is recommend trying to use things like the tutorial I was talking about if you're building on multi-tiered or or you want to build on a side of a hill to try and make it look more natural. that tutorial really will help. That being said, like, subscribe, recommend me to friends. I'm happy to comment and talk to you about anything you want. I also have a Discord. It's under the video usually, or at least it's under contact information if you want to get that way in the about section. Feel free to join. Trying to get a few people up in the Discord. Then I will eventually start doing build challenges for people to see if I can get people interested in doing a build that is unique to them and their channel. Well, this channel at least. It'll be something unique, I'll grant you that. And it'll be, I'll pick the build area, I'll pick the location, and you guys can go at it and see what you come up with. And I'll give you a set of restrictions that make sense for what you're doing. So this has been Ren for Ren's Wasteland Camp Reviews / Dumpster Fires of the Commonwealth. Have fun.